Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa wa salamun ala ibadihi allazina istafa ma ba'd. Fa'auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wallazina jahadu fina lanahdiyannahum subulana wa inna Allaha lama'al muhsinin. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Inshallah, we are going to continue our series of people around the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the last session, Alhamdulillah, we covered Hazrat Salman Farsi radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Inshallah, today we are going to try to do one or two more sahabas, some stories of them, inshallah, and try to take out the lessons. You know, if one were to scan through the books of history, we would find many life stories of many great personalities. There were many men who were influential in their lives, who did a lot of good, who did a lot of charity, who did a lot of good for people. But amongst them, उन सारे लोगों में जिन्होंने दुनिया में अच्छाई की, उनमें सबसे अफजल तरीन लोग, सबसे बेहतरीन लोग, according to many people, are the Sahaba Karam after the Anbiya alayhi salam. Right? The main reason we consider the Sahaba, or the main reason the Sahaba were considered the most influential was because they did their mehnat, they did their work, they did their effort only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. उनके दिल में सिर्फ इखलास था और अल्लाह सुब्हानहू तआला से जज़ा की तवक्को थी, ना कि किसी इंसान से, ना किसी बंदे से. While we look at those दुनियादार people, right, those दुनियादार people who do charity, who do good deeds, who help people, it's mostly because they are in it for some other dunyavi benefit. At times for fame, at times for power, at times for something completely different, at times in order to attain the love of people. But for the Sahaba it was never that. For the Sahaba it was always the love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that they were seeking. It was always the qubuliyat in the darbar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that they were seeking. It was always the Muhabba of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala they were seeking, and it did not matter to them. It did not matter to them if the entire dunya was against them, or if the entire dunya was with them, if the entire world was supporting them, or if the entire world was against them. What they were told and taught by Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the mission they were given by Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they carried on to that, for their lives until they passed away from this world. So this is the special feature of the Sahaba, that they always did it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When it is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in our lives also, if someone does something for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, उसको ये फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि क्या दुनिया मेरे साथ खड़ी है या दुनिया मेरे खिलाफ खड़ी है. अगर करना है अल्लाह ताला के लिए करना है तो करना ही करना है, चाहे दुनिया मेरे साथ हो चाहे दुनिया मेरे खिलाफ हो. Right? So this was the underlying principle, underlying theme in the lives of the Sahaba we saw. Upon studying all the Sahabas, उनको जो काम करना था, जो दीन का काम उनके सुपुर्द था, जो दीन के लिए मेहनत करनी थी, जो दीन के लिए एफर्ट करना था, जो अल्लाह सुब्हानहू ताला को प्लीज़ करने के लिए काम करना था, चाहे वो इबादत के एतबार से हो, चाहे वो हुकूकुल्लाह हो, चाहे हुकूकुल इबाद हो, चाहे वो दुनियावी एतबार से हो, वो करते थे. अल्लाह ताला को खुश करने के लिए सब कुछ दे देते थे. Yes, in order to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they would give everything, and they would give everything. This is ajib. Udkhulu fi silmi kafa, Quran Pak mein enter deen fi silmi kafa, in completely, totally, right? And we saw this about the Sahaba Karam. Because when they entered completely. जब एक बार आते थे, जब एक बार दीन में दाखिल हुए, तो पूरे दाखिल हुए, from the tip of their hair to the bottom of their feet, to the toe of their feet. They entered deen completely. फिर एक बार दिल दीन को दे दिया ना, दिल अल्लाह और अल्लाह के रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम को दे दिया, तो उसके बाद दो बार सोचना नहीं होता था. They never thought twice, they never doubted it. और एक बार जब दे दिया तो उसके बाद सब अल्लाह और अल्लाह के रसूल का हो जाता था. राइट? फिर चाहे घर में कुछ बचे ना बचे, कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता था. इसी तरह की एक सहाबी की आज स्टोरी हम इंशाल्लाह करेंगे. I announced Hazrat Zayd Bin Thabit radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Inshallah उनसे पहले we are going to do the story of Hazrat Abu Dahda radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Right? Abu Dahda radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu was a very ajib sahabi. He was from the Ansar. the people who were basically from Medina Munawwara, and he was overall he was not a very well known Sahabi, he was not a very famous Sahabi. But उनके बारे में एक story which is very interesting, very influential. It melts, it shows how that they were the misdaq of this verse. Udkhulu fi silmi kafa. So once there was a young orphan boy, in Medina Munawwara, who was getting a wall built from around the edge of his house to his neighbors. मदीना मुनव्वरा में उर्दू में कोशिश करते हैं. मदीना मुनव्वरा में एक यतीम बच्चा था जो अपने घर के इर्द गिर्द एक दीवार बनवा रहा था. वजह उसकी ये थी कि पड़ोसी के घर, उस ज़माने में पड़ोसी और अपने दो घरों के बीच में अमूमन दीवार नहीं होती थी. कुछ घरों में होती थी जहाँ बच्चे होते थे, जहाँ इधर से उधर चीज़ें जारी होती थी. कभी कभी एक घर में दरख्त होता था, दूसरे घर में उसके फल गिर रहे होते थे. तो जिस घर में दरख्त लगा होता था उसके फल दूसरे घर गिरते थे, तो वो एक्चुअली उस घर वाले के होते थे जिसके घर में दरख्त की बेस होती थी. So there were very few instances when someone would get a wall built around the house. So this was one such instance. There was an orphan boy in Medina Munawwara. He wanted to get a wall built around his house. He started to get the wall built around. Eventually there came a point when there was a tree in the middle from where he wanted to get the wall built. जो दीवार बनवा रहा था उसके बीच में एक दरख्त आ गया जो कि पड़ोसी का हक था, जो कि पड़ोसी की ज़मीन में लगा हुआ था. उसकी शाखें इस तरफ आ रही थी, तो उसको ये प्रॉब्लम होती. अगर वो दरख्त वॉल बना देता तो इवन तो दरख्त पड़ोसी का था, सारे फल इस तरफ, उसके खजूर इस तरफ गिरते. तो उसने ये सोचा कि मैं अपने पड़ोसी से ये दरख्त खरीद लेता हूँ. इस यतीम लड़के का नाम रिवायत में कहीं नहीं आया हुआ. The Padosi's name was Abu Lubaba, right? So he went to Abu Lubaba and told Abu Lubaba, I want to buy this tree. Why don't you sell this tree to me? Abu Lubaba said, no, I don't want to sell this tree to you. He said, why? He asked him why, and then he said, please sell the tree to me. I really want to buy this tree. The problem is, I want to get the wall built around the tree, because in case if I get the wall built in front of the tree, your fruit are going to fall in my house, and then there is going to be a tussle between your kids and my kids, because the dates would fall in my house and my kids would end up eating the dates. So it's better if you sell me the tree. He said, no, I don't want to sell you the tree. Upon that he got very upset, and he went to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam की उस टाइम एक मजलिस चल रही थी. उस मजलिस में ये यतीम लड़का चला गया और जाके उसने अबू लुबाबा के अगेंस्ट कंप्लेन की नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम को कि मैं एक वॉल बनाना चाह रहा हूँ, and there is a date palm tree which is in my neighbor's house, and there is no way I can have that wall built and save myself from the dates from the date palm tree. So, and I've asked him to sell me the tree, but he's refusing to sell it to me. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, of course, could relate to that boy, not because he was only a Nabi, but because Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam was also orphaned as a child. So he said, okay, why don't you go and call Abu Lubaba, I'll talk to him. When Abu Lubaba came, that young boy asked, the Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked Abu Lubaba, why don't you gift your tree to this young boy? Abu Lubaba said, no, Allah ke Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I don't want to gift it to him. Allahu Akbar Kabira, okay. Then Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, okay, why don't you sell it to him? He will pay for it. Why don't you sell the tree to him? It's better if you sell it to him, he will pay for it, you will also get the money, and he will get the tree. This masla is going to be sorted. He said, no, Allah ke Nabi, I don't want to sell the tree either. And by this time Abu Lubaba got very angry. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam then offered him an even better bargain or a better deal. He said, Abu Lubaba, why don't you give the tree to him, and I promise you a tree in Jannah in return of this. To that Abu Lubaba replied, because he was so angry, he said, no, Allah ke Nabi, I don't want a tree in Jannah, and then he left. This orphan boy got really angry and really upset, and at this point you have to understand, Allah ke Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam could not do anything, because this was the property of Abu Lubaba at the end of the day, right? And him being a Nabi did not give him rights to force someone to sell his property to someone else, right? Because that was against Huququl Ibad. In this same majlis, there was a Sahabi of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam sitting, and his name was Abu Dahda radiyallahu ta'ala. He asked Allah ke Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah ke Nabi, I heard what you said. मैंने सारी बात सुनी जो आपने कही, अगर मैं अबू लुबाबा से वाला दरख्त खरीद के इसको दे दूं या दरख्त लेके किसी तरह भी इस बच्चे को दे दूं, इस ऑर्फन को दे दूं, तो क्या मेरे लिए भी वही जन्नत में दरख्त होगा जो आपने इसको कहा? तो अल्लाह के नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमाया बिल्कुल आपके लिए भी वही दरख्त होगा, आप देख लें अगर ऐसा हो सकता है। Abu Darda radiallahu ta'ala ran after Abu Lubaba, right? He ran and ran and ran. At that time, Abu Darda radiallahu ta'ala was famous for just one thing. एक चीज के बारे में वो फेमस थे. He had one of the biggest date palm tree gardens in Madina Munawwara. कुछ रिवायतों में आता है अबू दादा के पास इतना बड़ा डेट पाम का खजूर के दरख्त का बाग था जिसमें 400 दरख्त लगे हुए थे, और कुछ में आता है जिसमें 600 दरख्त लगे हुए थे। और उस गार्डन के बीच में अबू दादा रज़ी अल्लाह ताला अन्हु का अपना घर था, जिधर वो रहते थे, उनकी ज़ौजा रहती थी और बच्चे रहते थे। Right, so this is what he was famous for, and everyone knew that. Everyone knew Abu Darda had this amazing, huge, beautiful mansion of a house in the middle of a date palm meadow. Right, Abu Darda radiallahu ta'ala anhu ran after Abu Lubaba and stopped Abu Lubaba. He said, Abu Lubaba, stop. Abu Lubaba stopped. Abu Darda told him, Abu Lubaba, why don't you give that tree to me, and in return I will give you my entire date palm meadow. Abu Lubaba was slightly shocked. He's like, what are you talking about? Have you lost your mind? You know, it's just one tree. You're giving me 400 or 600 trees for it. He said, yes, I've decided what to do. Why don't you take my entire date palm garden and I will take this one tree in return from you. You can go live there and I will take this tree, and you can keep your house here also. But that is yours if you agree to it. He said, are you sure? And at that point, Abu Darda radiallahu ta'ala said, yes, I am sure. And whoever is around here, there were people around there. जो लोग इधर खड़े हुए इन सारों को मैं गवाह बनाता हूँ कि मैंने वो तुम्हें अपना डेट पाम मेडो और डेट पाम गार्डन तुम्हें दिया इस एक दरख्त के बदले में। इसे ठीक है, आपका हो गया। He ran back. Abu Darda रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हु ran back to नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम मजलिस। उधर वो ऑर्फन लड़का भी था। He told अल्लाह के नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, that date palm tree is now in my ownership and I am giving it to this young boy as a gift for free. And he told this young boy, that is yours. You can go build a wall around it. When Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he told Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I gave a meadow to him, it does not matter, I gave my entire date palm garden to him. When Allah ke Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam heard that, he got so happy, you know, udkhulu fis silmi kafa. Abu Darda radiallahu ta'ala did not care. जब दीन में आए तो दीन के लिए सौदा पूरा करना था, उन्होंने पूरे अपने घर बार सबका सौदा एक साथ कर दिया। अल्लाह के नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम got so happy, he told Abu Darda radiallahu ta'ala anhu, earlier I offered you one date palm tree or one tree in Jannah in return for this tree. Now I am offering you the entire garden of date palms, entire garden of trees in Jannah in return for what you have done, because you've done something that is so amazing and so pleasing to the heart. ये हो गया. Then Abu Darda radiallahu ta'ala anhu went to his house, you know, the meadow, the garden, the house, the mansion, whatever he had over there. He went, and it comes in a narration that Abu Darda radiallahu ta'ala anhu stood outside the entrance of the date palm garden that he had. His family's house was inside that. He stood outside the entrance of it and screamed out or called out to his wife from outside. Ki, "Hey Umme Dada, come outside." She came outside. What happened? He said, pick the kids and come, we have to leave this place. We have done a soda for this house and for this place. His wife got slightly confused. What do you mean by that? He said, I have sold this place to someone. And she asked, who have you sold this place to? To that Abu Darda radiallahu ta'ala anhu replied that I have sold this to Allah and Allah's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam in return for a tree in Jannah for us. To that his wife said and exclaimed that I am so happy that you have done this. Verily the soda you have done, the deal you have done, it is better than anything I could have imagined. I am very happy to give this house and the meadow and everything and the great palm garden to Allah and Allah's Rasul. This is an amazing deal you have done. And it comes in a narration, that she grabbed her kids, left everything in the house, grabbed her kids. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It seems that the voice is disconnected. I'm going to slightly go back and return. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It seems the voice broke up. The internet probably disconnected. I'm going to go back a bit and restart my story from the middle. So it comes in the and I'm going to continue from the point where Abu Darda Radhiyallahu Ta'ala anhu sold his house. So Abu Darda Radhiyallahu Ta'ala anhu sold his house or exchanged his house and the entire date palm garden with Abu Lubaba against that one tree, and he went to Allah ke Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and told Allah ke Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam that I've gotten this date palm tree for this young orphan. Why don't you take it and give it to the orphan? And he gave it to the orphan, and in return Allah ke Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam told Abu Darda that earlier the deal was that you will get one tree in Jannah because of this. Now inshallah you will be getting an entire garden of trees in Jannah. And then Abu Darda radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu got up and went to his own house, and it comes in the narration that Abu Darda radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu did not enter his house or enter that vicinity of the meadow that he owned, and he called out to his wife from outside, "Oh Umm Dada, come out, come out." And Umm Dada came outside and he told them that I've sold this house to Allah and Allah's Rasul. To that Abu Darda radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu's wife said, "What a great deal you have actually done. What a great transaction you have carried out, and I'm extremely happy that you've actually carried out this transaction." And this comes in the narration that she actually said that, and it comes in another riwayat that she picked up the kids and the dates, the khajur जो उनके बच्चों के हाथ में थे वो उन्होंने अपने बच्चों के हाथ से लेके उधर डाल दिया. And she got up and she left and she went out with Hazrat Abu Darda radhiyallahu ta'ala, right? And when she was throwing the dates back into the meadow, she told the kids that this is for Allah and Allah's Rasul. Now we have already given them to Allah and Allah's Rasul. So this is the story of Hazrat Abu Darda radhiyallahu ta'ala, right? We see such amazing sahabas. We see such amazing sahabas. This Abu Darda, of course, one amazing sahaba, but he was the misdaq of udkhulu fi silmi kafa. कि दीन में enter होते हैं तो you have to enter completely from your head to toe. And when the time comes to actually, when the time comes to actually do something which pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you don't think twice. You don't question it. If you have a option to please Allah and Allah's Rasul, and if there is a guaranteed tree in Jannah that you can get, because in return of that you would give up anything for that, right? You sacrifice anything for that, irrespective of what it is, right? And this one more thing we understand from this story is Sahaba की जिंदगी में माल पैसे दुनिया wealth की value बहुत कम थी. It was very little that they cared about it from amongst this world. The entire date palm garden, 400 date palm trees, livelihood, house, whatever possessions, worldly possessions they did not have any value for that. The only thing they had the value for was qubuliyat in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, was acceptance in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, was ajar for qiyamah, because they understood that कि अगर इस दुनिया में हमें मुश्किलों में भी वक्त गुजारना पड़ा, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, at least आखिरत में तो guaranteed हमेशा की जिंदगी होगी. Thereafter it comes in the narration, actually, Hazrat Abu Darda's story continues. Also one more thing before I continue the story. We see from this story that it is often that there are many times that we actually hold on to many things in life which are not very useful to us. We see from the story that Abu Darda radhiyallahu anhu gave up everything that he owned. The concept of which he decluttered his life. There's this concept in deen about owning those things which you actually utilize, right? A concept of zuhad, but that concept of zuhad itself is a higher concept. In basic terms, you have to understand our deen teaches us not to have excessive possessions which we do not utilize. So for example, if a person has a set of clothes, for women especially, they have so many clothes they don't wear for 2 years or 3 years at a time. Those clothes should not be in your stock, right? Those clothes should not be hanging in your drawer, in your closet, wherever it is. They should be out given to someone else who can actually utilize them. And when you need, alhamdulillah, most of us are those who have been blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with somewhat wealth, right? So alhamdulillah, most of us have the capacity to buy those clothes when we need them in the future. But if there is something in your house of your personal items that you are not utilizing, it's better to give it away. हमारी प्रॉब्लम ये होती है, हम बहुत सारा अपने पास ऐसी चीज़ संभाल के रखे हुए होते हैं जो कि हमें यूज़ नहीं करनी होती, सिर्फ इस वजह से क्या पता काम आ जाए, यार। अगर एक साल में 6 महीने में काम नहीं है ना, तो आगे एक साल 6 महीने भी हो सकता है एक बार काम आ जाए. दैट इज़ नॉट वर्थ इट. दैट इज़ नॉट वर्थ होल्डिंग ऑन टू वर्ल्डली वेल्थ और वर्ल्डली possessions, right? So if you declutter your life, inshallah, you would be able to focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more, and you'd be less bogged down in worldly matters. Similarly, I tell this to so many people, if you even tone down the clothing you wear usually, this is one thing I feel is very important. हमारे माशरे में होता है कि every day there is a new set of clothes, new color of clothes, new combination of clothes, new combination of the watch and shoes and socks and Allah Akbar, cufflinks and glasses, and for a lot of Dini people, topis, right? There's a new combination each person has to make every day. So if you just ease that down, you have 4 or 5 clothes which you repeat and use them for a month maybe. Then you get rid of them, get new ones made. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you this much tawfiq, you will be able to have a much relaxed life with respect to this one constant tension a person has, right? कि आज कौन से कपड़े पहनने, कल कौन से कपड़े पहनने. Similarly for women, if you just ease down on, or if you simplify your clothing choices, inshallah, the constant tension of deciding what to wear is going to go down. So inshallah, if you do that with time, simplicity would come. एंड मुसलमान की एक बहुत बड़ी पहचान है ना, सीधा सादा सुथरा, राइट? तो इंसान मुसलमान की पहचान है सादगी. अगर सादगी होगी ना हमारी ज़िंदगी में, तो हमारी ज़िंदगी बहुत आसान हो जाएगी. सादगी बहुत ज़रूरी है, मगर सादगी बहुत ज़रूरी है किसी भी तरह. एंड सादगी का ये मतलब नहीं आप अपने आप को मुसीबत में डालें, आप अब मुजाहिदा करें, आप एसी बंद करके बैठ जाएंगे, सादगी कर रहा हूँ. एसी बंद करना सादगी का फॉर मेनी पीपल हिस्सा नहीं है, राइट? There could be someone who's spent his life such that AC is considered a luxury for him, but for many of us, AC is not considered luxury, right? But many other things where you can ease down, many other things you can do that. Have a simpler lifestyle, have a simpler food, you can do that. But sadgi does not imply you torture yourself. That is the point. The second story, inshallah, we are going to pick up today. Inshallah, we are going to try and do it as soon as possible. Is the story of Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit is a ajib sahabi. He's a very, this is bolte na, I don't know. This is the only word I can think of when I speak with about him. Zayd bin Thabit is a very pyara sahabi, right? Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit became Muslim at the age of 10 or 11 when Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam migrated to Madina Munawwara. हिजरत के बाद ज़ैद बिन साबित रज़ियल्लाहु अन्हु मुसलमान हुए. उनकी उम्र कोई 10 या 11 साल थी कम बेश. उसके एक साल बाद बदर का मौका आया. तो टेक्निकली calculating his age, he was probably 12 or 13 approximately at the time of Battle of Badr. Zayd bin Thabit, when the battle was about to begin, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked the Sahaba to come and join the ranks, right? So Zayd bin Thabit also picked up the sword, picked up the armor, and that was the condition at that time. Whoever was coming to fight, if he had the wealth, or if he had the means to get hold of the sword and armor, he should do that and come. And whoever had the means to get hold of a horse, he should do that, and camel and whatever else. Zayd bin Thabit had the armor on him, and he picked up the sword and he went to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I'm ready to go to jihad with you, inshallah, in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala under your banner. Please tell me, who is my commanding officer? Who should I go and join? This is the mafhumi tarjuma of the narration, right? To that, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam looked at Zayd bin Thabit, and it comes in one narration that the sword of Zayd bin Thabit radhiyallahu anhu was taller than Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit radhiyallahu anhu at that time. Zayd bin Thabit radhiyallahu anhu की अपनी जो तलवार थी, उनकी उस तलवार की हाइट हज़रत ज़ैद बिन साबित से ज़्यादा ऊंची थी, right? And there's another narration where it comes that उस sword की हाइट उनकी अपनी हाइट की जितनी थी. किसी जगह ये नहीं लिखा हुआ कि उनकी तलवार की हाइट उनकी हाइट से कम थी, right? So Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam looked at Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit and patted him on the shoulder or the head or the back, and appreciated his effort and his willingness to go to war go do jihad for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and told him, you're too young to actually go this time. Inshallah, next time if you want to go, we can take you. Zayd bin Thabit was really upset and really sad at that time, and it comes in one narration that while going back, he was dragging his sword on the floor or on the ground while going back to his house. He went back to his mother, and his mother was equally dejected and sad and upset about his her son not getting the chance to go. When the next year battle of Uhud ka time aaya, the battle of Uhud ke time pe bhi there was this group of youngsters in Madina Munawwara. Inshallah, the life of Sahaba is amazing. There were 8 boys in Madina Munawwara, all between the age of 11 to 13. Young boys, young converts, the sons of converts, and they were good friends amongst them, right? And most of these 8, actually all of them 8, turned out to be amazing companions of Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and 2 stand out amongst these 8. These 8 boys, yet again, when the time of Uhud came, they picked up their swords and they picked up their armor and they got ready and they went to Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam कि अल्लाह के रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम तैयार हैं, चलें जंग में चलते हैं, चलें जिहाद में चलते हैं. We want to fight and die for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the cause of deen, inshallah. And please let us know where we should go and join, whose command should we go and join in order to fight for deen. So amongst the 8 friends that they were, Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, 2 were built slightly heavily, and they were chosen by Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but the remaining 6 were refused by Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? And amongst them, the ones who were refused, yet again because of being too young, were Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu, and one more Sahabi, Hazrat Abdullah bin Umar radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu, the son of Hazrat Umar radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Un pe bhi inshallah ek session hoga. One of my favorite Sahabis, right? One of my favorite Sahabis. Amazing personality, extremely dynamic personality. इंशाल्लाह उनकी जिंदगी पढ़ी जाती है तो बहुत कुछ समझ आ जाता है अपनी जिंदगी के बारे में. So Zayd bin Thabit then also rejected and headed back and went back to his house, right? He was probably 13, 14 at that time. Eventually when the battle of Khandaq came, the battle of Trench, Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit was for the first time given the chance to actually fight alongside Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But coming back to after Uhud, he went back home to his mother and told that he was not allowed. To that his mother said, the first time also the mother convinced him, the mother told him, you should go inshallah, fight for the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and she was sad about him not getting the chance to go fight. The second time also, as Zayd bin Thabit, his mother was most excited about him wanting to go. His mother's name was Hazrat An-Nawar bint Malik radhiyallahu ta'ala anha. So she was upset and of course saddened about her son not getting the chance to actually go and fight alongside Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the battle, of course. So after that the mother proposed to Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit. Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit herself, actually this comes in the narration that the mother proposed to Zayd bin Thabit, since you are too young, why don't you do something else with which you can serve Allah and Allah's deen, and in which you can serve Allah and Allah's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. To that Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit said that I am very good with learning, I am very good with academics, I am very good with memorizing stuff, and I am very good with learning new things. So why don't I do something in learning? And it comes in the narration that when Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam went for Uhud, that is when his mother suggested, why don't you start memorizing the Quran? Why don't you start memorizing the Quran? And when Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam comes back, we can tell him that you are very good with writing and composing and writing and learning and memorizing and understanding new things. And inshallah we can discuss with him if you can be of use in that field to Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the religion. To that he agreed. And it comes in the narration that when Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam went for Uhud, Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit started memorizing the Quran. And when Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam came back from the battle of Uhud, Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit had memorized 17 paras of the Quran, 17 juz of the Quran. And as soon as Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam was back, Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit's mother, through a common family relationship, got a message sent to Allah's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam that Zayd wants to meet you and show and and why don't you consider Zayd for some work of deen with respect to academics and composing and something of that sort? And he has learned 17 paras of Quran Pak while you were not here, and he's very good with that. He was very good with tilawa, he's very good with kirat, he's very good with writing. To that, Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam agreed and said, okay, send Zayd, I want to meet him. And when Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam met Zayd, he actually took an interview of some sort for Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit, and he took interview of Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit, and after taking that interview, Nabi Karim, it comes in the narration that Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that Zayd has more skill than what his mother had actually indicated or informed me of earlier. After that, Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit was asked by Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to learn the Hebrew language, the language of the Jews, so that when Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would want to communicate with the Jews, he could use Zayd bin Thabit Raziyallahu Ta'ala anhu to write the letters, compose letters, and when letters would come, Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit could actually translate the letters in order for Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to understand it in Arabic. It comes in the narration that Zayd bin Thabit Raziyallahu Ta'ala anhu came back to Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam after 14 days. 14 days. After 14 days, informing Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that he had mastered the language of mastered the Hebrew language. He had mastered the Hebrew language. Yes, 14 days later. Yeah. Then Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam yet again took interview of Zayd bin Thabit Raziyallahu Ta'ala anhu and was very happy that he had actually mastered this language in 14 days. Then he told Zayd bin Thabit, why don't you learn another language which we regularly require, and in that language is called Syriac language, right? It is a dialect of Aramaic language. And Zayd bin Thabit Raziyallahu Ta'ala said, okay. 17 days later, as Zayd bin Thabit came back and he said, I have mastered this language also. After that, he was the person who would translate all the letters for Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam which were in these two languages, and he would write the letter in this language which Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would narrate to him. So most of the letters in these languages that were actually sent by Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, they were written by Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit Raziyallahu Ta'ala. Eventually he earned more trust of Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. There came a time when Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave him the task of writing down the wahi. जब कुरान पाक नाजिल होता था तो ज़ैद बिन साबित रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हु को बुलाया जाता था कि ये आयत और ये कुरान पाक का हिस्सा भी नाजिल हुआ है, आप इनको अपने पार्चमेंट पे, पेपर पे, whatever was there at that time, इस पे नोट करें और लिखें, so that it can become mahfuz for the future generations. So this was the maqam of Zayd bin Thabit radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He was also known as the Katibun Wahi, who was the one who writes down the revelations of the Quran sent to Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right, so over time, and there was not one person, I'll be very open and honest, there were more than 40 people who were Katibun Wahi at that time. But Zayd bin Thabit radiallahu ta'ala anhu was considered the leader of them. And he was one of the youngest ones amongst them also. And he was one of the most mentally sharpest people and mentally smartest people who were actually doing that at that time. So with time, since Wahi came down on Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Zayd bin Thabit radiallahu anhu was one of the very few people who had this command on Quran Pak, because he heard it directly from Allah's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam right when it was revealed. So Zayd bin Thabit radiallahu ta'ala anhu had a very good command over jisko Shan-e-Nuzul bolte na, about the circumstances in which the Wahi was coming down. So his understanding of the Quran Pak was much higher than others. And the reality is, since Zayd bin Thabit radiallahu ta'ala anhu was completely dedicated to this work, it is not going to be incorrect to say that his understanding of the Quran Pak was better than Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu also, in this sense, with respect to Shan-e-Nuzul, because he was the Katibun Wahi. This was the task given to Zayd bin Thabit by Allah's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away during the time of Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Zayd bin Thabit was appointed as the head of that committee or that team which was actually compiling all the nusqas of Quran Pak and making them into one. And in the time of Hazrat Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he was yet again given the same task of being the person who was in charge of compiling the nuskha of Quran Pak, which became eventually the final final book form which eventually we read nowadays. So the Quran Pak that has come to is उसको हमारे पास पहुंचाने तक में हज़रत ज़ैद बिन साबित का बहुत बड़ा हाथ है, right? Hazrat Umar Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu used to comment about Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit that he is one of the most learned people with respect to Quran Pak, right? And when Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit passed away, the people said, Wallahi, today we have buried so much of the knowledge Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave us. When he passed away, he passed away much later because he became Muslim at a very young age of 10 or 11 when Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam migrated to Madinah Munawwara. So when Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam passed away, he must have been 20, 21, 22 approximately in this age bracket. So he must have lived much longer after Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam went away from this earth. And he did the khidmat of deen for a much longer time after the time of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, till the end of the time of the Sahaba. So he has a very big ihsan with respect to, his qubuliyat is very high with respect to deen. There are many things we learn from the story of Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit. बहुत सारी चीज़ें हमें मिलती हैं Zayd bin Thabit की story से. Amongst them, first and foremost, we see over and over that the biggest motivation for Zayd bin Thabit throughout the time after he became a Muslim was his mother. जब माँ बच्चे को सही तरह पुश करती है, सही तरह तरबियत करती है, तभी बच्चा ज़ैद बिन साबित बनता है, राइट? ये बहुत बड़ा पहलू है, ये बहुत बड़ा पहलू for the women who are listening. It is the responsibility or the kind of influence a mother could have on a son. I'm not talking about a daughter right now. The kind of influence a mother can have on a son is more than any other influence the son could ever have. अगर बच्चे की तरबियत ठीक तरह हुई होगी और बच्चे पे इन्फ्लुएंस सही तरह किया होगा और बच्चे को गाइड सही तरह किया होगा तो बच्चा can very easily become Zayd bin Thabit, and the बच्चा can very easily become Imam Shafi also. There is a story for Imam Shafi also, right? So it is the role of the mother to actually guide the son with respect to religion and do the parvarish such that he becomes a good Muslim. Second thing we notice from this hadith, from this story, is that the mother of Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit kept pushing him to go to Badr, then kept pushing him to go to Uhud, and she was actually upset when Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit did not get to go, right? अल्लाह के रास्ते में भेजने के लिए सबसे बढ़कर हज़रत ज़ैद बिन साबित की वालदा खुद थी, right? आजकल भी we have to take this lesson. When it comes to doing the mehnat of deen, there is not going to be someone else coming and doing the mehnat of deen. हमारे माशरे में अजीब सी ये बात है कि माँ से कहती है बस मेरा बच्चा मौलवी ना हो जाए, दीनदार ना हो जाए, दीन का काम ना करने लग जाए, क्या माशरे में सबसे ज़्यादा कट जाएगा. अल्लाह की बंदी, अगर तुम्हारा बच्चा नहीं करेगा तो कौन करेगा? If your son does not work for deen, then who will? Angels are not going to come and work for deen right now. The duty of working for deen has been given to us now by Allah ke Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is not going to be a Nabi coming and doing the work of deen. If we keep thinking that no, my son is not going to go out and work for deen, my son is not going to go out and learn the knowledge of deen, study deen, practice deen, do the mehnat of deen, do the dawah of deen, do the khidmat of deen in any way, then who is going to come and do that? Right? If a mother keeps thinking कि मेरा बच्चा अगर दीनदार बन जाएगा, दीन का काम करेगा तो दुनिया नहीं कमा पाएगा, तो you get my point. So who else is going to do that? Who else is going to do that? We see from the story that Zayd bin Thabit radhiyallahu mother was the biggest pushing factor in his life, right? So these are the very two most important aspects. And one thing that I've been repeating the similar theme कि उदखुलु फी सिल्मी काफ़ा, कुरान पाक की आयत है उज़ बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम, उदखुलु फी सिल्मी काफ़ा, कि you have to give yourself completely in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We see that Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit gave completely on himself on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He dedicated himself completely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He jumped into deen, तो he jumped into deen completely. वो दीन में पाँव डाल के दीन को टेस्ट करने वाला चक्कर नहीं है, सिलसिला नहीं है. So when you enter deen, you have to enter deen completely. You do not need to worry. Like I said, you do not need to worry कि माशरा क्या कहेगा और लोग क्या कहेंगे. When you want to enter deen, when you want to enter deen, you should enter deen. And when you enter deen, you should enter deen completely. आधा दीन में जाना, आधी दीन में ना जाना, that usually does not work out. There's a transition phase. If someone wants to get into the practice of deen, there's a transition phase, and that is there as it is. That's not a problem. But when someone enters deen, it should be completely and totally, a person should be entering deen. These are some of the lessons, and we see this the Qubuliyat of Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit. We did a talk a few days ago, last week actually, Qabiliyat and Qubuliyat, right? So here we see that Hazrat Zayd bin Thabit's Qabiliyat is very much also, and Alhamdulillah his Qubuliyat is very much also. And the biggest thing we notice is that he has invested, or he has actually put his Qabiliyat in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that he could get the Qubuliyat. And when someone who's Qabil, he puts his Qabiliyat, he puts his skills in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wallahi, he gets so much Qubuliyat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He becomes the best, best person a person can be, right? A highly skilled person giving his skills to the work of deen. So this is what we should aspire to be, aim to be. If we have a certain skill set, we should find ways of giving it to deen. We should find ways of doing khidmat of deen by using that skill set, inshallah, in order to make deen strong, in order to do dawah of deen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may accept us for the khidmat of his deen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us such that we become maqbool in his eyes. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to utilize our qabiliyat for the sake of deen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to utilize the skills for the sake of deen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept us for the khidmat of this.